Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Overwatch Central. So it's an early video today as we had another dev post that was posted earlier this morning about some changes to the rank system. I don't necessarily want to keep you all waiting, so this is what Scott Mercer posted when it came to rank perceptions, skill decay, and the most important part in my eyes, that they're focusing more on MMR for Season 4. Let's begin by taking a quote directly from Scott's post saying how he wants to make the matchmaker much more focused. The simple and primary goal of our matchmaker is creating fair matches. To do that, it evaluates potential matches by synthesizing an expected win percentage. The matchmaker is normally really good about creating matches with a win percentage that is close to 50%, but if the participants in the match are either at a very high or very low SR, then it gets quite a bit more difficult. So this is no doubt to do with the crazy times that you can have diamonds or even plats in those master GM games, and generally those games where you feel that the matchmaker has compromised good games by finding as good as a game as it can in the time required. Scott goes into a little bit more detail. This is especially true in our lower population regions, and they're playing at off-peak times such as 4 AM in the morning, and the fact that they're queuing as a large group. Normally in these situations we try and find a good match, but even compromises have to be made so the players in question don't wait forever in queue. Well, we're not going to compromise as much anymore. The matchmaker will no longer create a match above a certain win percentage threshold, and we're going to turn this new behaviour on very soon. When we do, you could possibly wait a very long time or even not find a match at all in extreme cases. To find matches fairly quickly, try to play during prime hours for your region, and it's also easy to match you if you're solo or in a much smaller group. In the future patch, when we think we can't find a match based on current matchmaking population, then we'll warn you that the wait might be a very long time. We didn't want to overreact and create strict rules such as you can't queue as a group above X skill rating. There are some locations and times that can handle high skill groups and still find fair matches for them. We'll start with this new threshold not being very aggressive, but we can adjust dynamically if needed. When we do add DUR, we'll also make the check more aggressive. This for me feels more like a direct answer to the 6 stack of Brazilian GM players who played in the early hours and got matched against plats and other random ranks because of the time of day. It's making sure that the system isn't exploitable by the matchmaker having to find a game for these players that are trying to exploit the system. It basically disables the matchmaker for them during non-peak hours. Simply put, this will kick these players out to the curb if they try a queue with this group, and it forces them to rethink their exploiting strategies. This is the main thing that I wanted to focus, but Scott also briefly spoke about win and loss streaks. Moving forward, we are currently looking at our win and loss streaks, bonuses, and SR volatility, tuning and improving our expected win percentage calculations and other elements of the matchmaking system. Competitive play and matchmaking are two systems that we're constantly working to refine over time, and as always, your feedback helps us tremendously. Keep it coming, and good luck in Season 4. So it's nice to see when it comes to rank, it's more about the fine-tuning aspect of Blizzard that they're constantly working on it. And I mean, if this new system with the more focused game works as intended, then the win and loss streak should be more effective and less exploitable. If the games are much more balanced and you're still win streaking, I'd say that you deserve to climb at a much higher rate. The same goes for those loss streaks as well. And it's also important that when these changes come out, that people provide their feedback to Blizzard. We've said this a lot with the Bastion thing, and it's incredibly important here as well. But Scott also talks about the Decay system as well, something that's got quite a few people riled up, their point being that they don't have time to play 7 games a week, and that Blizzard should treat this as like a part-time job. It is a strong statement, sure, but it's one that I've heard a few times already, and I kinda see the point around it. This is Scott's response. As mentioned in the competitive blog, only having to play 1 game per week didn't make your current skill rating very accurate or meaningful. Current skill rating should reflect your skill rating as an active player. We also show your season high skill rating in your profile, and that won't change during the season due to inactivity decay. While you have to play 7 games in a week to avoid any decay, we wanted players to have the flexibility within the week. Playing 1 long session on a weekend or several smaller sessions during the week. As long as you play 7 games, it's fine. For me, this is the key. These changes completely correlate with the top 500 changes, that basically you need to finish within the top 500 to gain those benefits. Something that I would like to see more benefits for, rather than just animated sprays. This is the golden carrot on a stick to incite high skill players to keep playing the game, as opposed to climbing to the top 500 and then never playing the game again that season now that they have those rewards. Next up is a little myth that has been completely busted open. If you do decay, it only affects your current displayed skill rating. The decay does not affect the internal matchmaking rating we use, so we can still place you in fair matches. When you do come back and actively play matches, you'll also typically gain more SR from a win until your displayed skill rating and internal matchmaking rating have again reached their equilibrium. So this answers that age-old question that rank decay doesn't change your hidden MMR whatsoever. So if you're GM and decay all the way down to 3000, you still have GM games. Kinda removes that fear factor of skill decay in all honesty as well, but we'll see how this new 7-game system plays out and whether it's actually feasible to play all those games. Finally, I wanted to share the stats Scott shared with us about what percentile players are actually in. There's always been a lot of speculation about this due to the lack of complete official data, and there are actually some very distinct differences between the perceived population based on third-party sites and our complete data. data. The data below is based on Season 3 data, Season 4 is too new, and the maximum not current skill rating that these players got during the season. The values below are also rounded, so that's why we haven't quite added up to 100%. So as you can see, Bronze the 6%, Silver 22%, Gold 34%, Platinum 23%, Diamond 10%, Master 3%, and Grandmaster less than 1%. He also noted that the mean of the sort of results is around 2,350 and not 2,500 like a lot of people expected, and that only 8% of the population was actually above the 300 SR at any one time. So 10% of the players actually hit Diamond, but only 8% were in that population at one point. This for me is important to share, as I do feel players, including myself, give themselves a hard time because of these perceived percentiles. Now, because of the bell curve of Season 2 has been squashed, the Plat players are now in Diamond and Diamond players are now in Masters, and I also wanted to share this to show that these players at Plat are in a higher percentile than the major average, and that those stuck in mid gold are slap bang in the middle of the player base. So in general, you're in a much higher percentile than you probably thought you were. But we've gone through a lot here, so I'm ending the video there. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think of these changes, what you think of the skill decay system, and whether you're excited to see much more focused matchmaking. Until next time, take care. We'll see you then.